All right. Very good morning. Very good evening. Can you guys hear me and can you guys see my screen? Can somebody confirm me?
Yes, sir, visible.
Ye-
Give me a
Yes, we can.
second. How about now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes, Malik, sir, we can see.
There might be some issue with my speaker. Let me change that. Give me a second. Uh, how about now?
yeah, fine. Audible.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Hope you guys can hear my voice and can able to see my screen. Is it fine or can somebody confirm that?
Yes, Malik, sir, we can hear you clear.
All right, that's great. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this demo session. As we planned today and tomorrow, we'll be having these two demo sessions for this new DBA course. So what we're going to cover today and tomorrow, we'll briefly go over course curriculum and the course structure and the timings, fee structure, and then few demo topics, some basic understanding of database. We'll keep it short today and tomorrow. And in this 2 days of course of demo sessions, if you have any questions or queries while I'm explaining any topic or any particular session, so you can unmute yourself and ask your any questions. If you're unable to talk, you can use this chat window here. You can post your question over here. I'll be monitoring the chat window. I can take up those questions. Right. So with that, what we're going to talk about today, I will start with the uh, intro about introduction about instructor, like who is your instructor, and is it any third party person is teaching, or any institute is teaching, or who is teaching, and course curriculum, what are the course curriculum, course content, course topic, and all those things we'll discuss, and then followed by course fees and timings. What are those timings, what are the dates, and what are the course duration, and what will be the fee structure, and then followed by we'll talk about the prerequisites, right? So you need to understand what are the prerequisites before enrolling for this course. If you don't meet those prerequisites, probably this course seems to be little harder, and then you'll be in lagging, you'll not be able to understand, you'll not be up to the speed. You'll understand those what are the prerequisites, and followed by some basic concepts. Some of the concepts we will go over, some basic concept on Oracle database. Right, so we'll try to go over all these 5 topics by today and tomorrow and see what are the, if there's any questions or if there's anything extra we need to cover, we'll try to make it in these 2 days. Right, so the your instructor, like it's not run by any third party vendor or not run by any other organization. I'll be your instructor. I'll be taking over this entire course. I'm not teaching with any third party person. So because the many of the requests came from uh, my previous students and previous batches that it will be better if I take the course in person. That's a plan we're targeting it in upcoming days. But for now, I'm your instructor. I'll be taking this course from beginning to till end, and this course is from the beginners till advanced level. So anyone can attend this course who is trying to enter into DBA world, who is just a graduated student and who want to start the career in DBA world, or you are already having experience 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. You want to brush up your DBA knowledge in depth. This course is best suits for you. So because this course we are planning to cover from the scratch till advanced level, and this particular course curriculum is formed based upon the real time experience, based upon whatever my 15 to 16 years of experience in this IT world, and as a DBA what all needed for day to day activities. If you're working as a DBA for any client or any customer, what are the expected activities, what are your roles and responsibilities, what are your day to day activities you're supposed to perform on those particular client environment, all those will be formed together and kept all together into this particular course curriculum. So due to fact, this course curriculum is formed based upon the real-time experience. So this course is best fit for anyone who is entering into DBA world or a fresh graduate, or you already experienced DBA, want to brush up and go in deep dive. This course is best fit for you all guys. So I'm the one who is gonna teach this particular entire course. I'm just gonna give you brief of intro about myself. So most of us, you might have already following me in my you know LinkedIn or my YouTube channel or blog. So I'll be having 16 years of IT experience, and this entire 16 years of IT experience I worked purely on Oracle products. So purely on Oracle product meaning I started my career as a Oracle DBA, and then gradually you know moved into senior Oracle DBA, infrastructure lead, Oracle Exadata lead, and then the project lead. So this entire 15 years of IT career where I worked on the various organization, starting with the you know the airways. I started my career in one of the small organization where I started supporting Australian Jetstar Airways, and followed by moved to some telecom industries, some insurance and finance, and then some e-commerce. I worked on various industries as a Oracle DBA, senior Oracle DBA, lead infrastructure DBA, and all of them. So with that, various industry sectors given me opportunity to work on various Oracle product like a core Oracle DBA, RAC DBA, and Golden Gate Expert, Oracle EBS admin, Oracle PeopleSoft, Oracle OBA admin, and Oracle Exadata, Oracle Supercluster, Oracle Solarize, and so many Oracle products. So I worked on all these Oracle products, all these 15 to 16 years of experience. Along with that, I also learned some other technologies outside of Oracle world. Like I also as a worked as a MS SQL database administrator for 3 years. I also worked as a Informatica admin for 2 years, and also learned so many other skill sets other than Oracle, like a DevOps skill set, Kubernetes, cookbooks, Jenkins, and Terraform, Ansible, all these other technologies other than Oracle. Why I learned? Just to make my job easy, just to make my day-to-day activities easy. So if you learn your DevOps skills, you can use those DevOps skills and you can make automation in your day-to-day activities. So I'm purely focused on Oracle technology, Oracle world. I almost learned most of the Oracle products, and along with that, I learned these other extra skills like DevOps skills to just to make my day-to-day life easy. So just to use those DevOps skills and make my day-to-day activities as automation using those DevOps skills. So that is all about your interest. So if you're willing to learn any technologies, you can learn it without any, hassle. That is all matter of your interest. So that is my overall experience where this 15 years I worked for Oracle products, and also I learned so many other non-Oracle product, non-Oracle technologies just to make my day-to-day life easy. And I have not restricted my knowledge to only this Oracle product. I also learned other database technologies, other database skills like MS SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB, IBM DB2, and SAP HANA. These are my other secondary database skills. I also worked on these database products for various projects. And so that is my the focus area, Oracle product, and then my other secondary areas like other database skills and other DevOps skills, which is to make sure that I am up to date in the market and I'm ready for any new technologies. I'm just be on top of the market, right? So it's all about you, how you prepare yourself, how you learn your new skills and new technologies so that you will be always get the new opportunities or new job opportunities or new openings if you are up to date and top of the market.
Hello, Mohammed.
Yep.
So, after like knowing all that, so does this come under the branch of database architect? Like
Which
after
which
that,
one? Which technology?
or not certain technology, like gathering information of different databases and getting the part of DevOps also.
No,
So does this consider under database architect?
no. Like your DevOps skills are totally different. DevOps skills or the DevOps is not a one single technology like you're learning. Like Oracle is one technology you're learning. DevOps is a set of tools or set of technologies you are learning to make your day-to-day activities automation. Like in DevOps, you will get a cookbooks, Jenkins, Terraform, and Ansible, Kubernetes. So set up technologies or set up tools, and once you learn those, so you can make your day-to-day work or day-to-day jobs, whatever you are working, and those can be automated. Right? That's the different technology. DevOps is all together. DevOps means development operations. A developer who is developing a product, building a code, and he need help to provide that help. A DevOps engineer will support that. DevOps is like development operations. Development operations means I am a developer. I am writing some code on Oracle technologies. So a DevOps engineer will help in installing that Oracle product and in installing that user creation and helping that development team. So that's a simple understanding of what is DevOps. So meaning DevOps is not a single technologies. It's a set of technologies, and you have to learn that in order to support your developers, your development team. It may be anything. Your developer is working on IBM DB2 as a DevOps. I need to understand IBM DB2, and then I need to help in setting up of that database. And kind of you are supporting your developers with the different technologies. So that's the meaning of DevOps. You have to learn many technologies in develop DevOps. All right. So that is my other secondary skills and other secondary database skills and other you know technologies like DevOps, which made me my day-to-day life easy. And then having said that, how can I keep myself updated by making sure that understanding what is the latest technology in the market and be on top of that. So if you talk with any of your senior colleague or senior manager, always they talk about cloud. That's true. Right now, current booming technology is cloud. As a DBA or any software engineer, it is our responsibility to understand the cloud technologies and then be on top of the market so that if you have any new opportunities available in the market or within the organization or outside of your organization, you will be the first person to be contacted for that opportunities. So with that, you have to learn other technologies, especially in the cloud. You can learn any cloud technologies because there are various vendors in the market, which is the topmost one is your Amazon AWS. Go ahead and learn your AWS technologies. So will be a lot of opportunities in the market and Google Cloud and Azure Cloud and Oracle Cloud. So these are the four topmost cloud vendors will be top of the list in the market. And once you learn these cloud technologies, so you'll get a lot of opportunities. So with that, so I have expanded my knowledge, and then I learned Oracle Cloud, OCI, and along with that, I learned AWS plus Azure. And once you learn these cloud technologies, and you'll be in the top of the list. Any other opportunities outside, you'll be easily called out, and you can easily grab that opportunities, right? So again, I'm not going to talk about more on this context because many people will ping me personally and say, due to cloud technologies, DBA roles are vanishing, DBA roles are reducing, DBA jobs are getting cut off. Is that true? And all those things. Uh, Believe me, DBA role is a evergreen, and any technology comes and goes, and DBA job will be forever. There is a pros and cons with any technology comes. There will be some impact on the DBA jobs, and also at the same time there will be some advantages on the DBA jobs because of that technologies. Right. With this cloud technology also, there will be pros and cons, some disadvantages for the DBA jobs, and also at the same time there's so many advantages for the DBA job. So we'll talk about in our regular class in detail what are those pros and cons. But in simple words, cloud technologies will be never be take away DBA jobs. So DBA job will be there forever, and when any technology comes and goes, there will be a little bit of impact, but at the same time there will be more advantages in the DBA jobs because of the technologies. Right, with that, don't worry, DBA job is forever, and these cloud technologies are just a new technology, currently booming technologies, which is going to impact not only DBA jobs, which is going to impact any other field as well. And there will be a risk of those jobs, not only in the DBA field, any other field also, developer or any other field, there will be impact because of these cloud technologies. But at the same time, there will be a lot of advantages in all those technologies, all those fields because of the cloud technologies. Same thing applicable to any domain, not only DBA domain. All right. That's about me. Like I'm your instructor, my journey and various organization, various Oracle product, and other than Oracle, what are the non Oracle technologies and skill set what I have it. So I'll be your instructor, and then I'll be taking this entire course. All right. So that's a quick intro about me. We'll talk more on as we continue with our regular course. Now quickly talk about the course curriculum. So which is important because we all here to learn these Oracle technologies, and we should understand what are the course curriculum, what is the course content, and how this course is formed, so that you will be able to get to know whether this course is suitable for you, and is there any topic missing in this particular course? Can we include that topic? All this is going to discuss here in this course curriculum, right? So this course curriculum, if you go to training and database, so I'm going to give you details about a course curriculum. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so this is my blogspot, malik034 blogspot.com. So you can go to database training, which is going to talk about the course curriculum. What are the course curriculum? What are the course content in this particular course? So some of the key points you can go over that. I'm just going to talk about what it is included in this course. So we'll start with the environmental setup. So your basic networking, basic Linux installation and configuration, administration. So this is very important. First, you should have your Linux environment. So because this particular course is based upon Linux environment, so many people may ask question, is this database course based upon Windows platform? No, this course is based upon Linux platform. So we're not going to cover anything on the Windows platform. This is on the Linux platform. So we'll understand the Linux environment, setting up of the environment, and understanding the networking in the Linux environment and IP addresses, how we can set IP addresses, host name, some basics. So once we set up our Linux environment, we'll start with the installation of our database, and installation of database using a manual method, using a GUI method. using a silent method, using a command line. So various methods to go over your installation, but we'll talk about one method in details and other methods you can give you brief idea how you can proceed that one. So these first five topics is all about setting up of your environment, installation, configuration, and once that is ready, so we'll start with the understanding of architecture in depth. So as you see, this particular course is based upon 19C architecture, 19C database, 19C database version. But at the same times, we'll be talking about what are the differences, what are the changes in the architecture part, and you compare to your 11G, when you compare to your 12C, when you compare to 19C, what are the changes or what are the new features got added. So we'll go all of them in details. So we'll talk about here in the chapter number 6 about architecture in depth, and chapter number 7 and chapter number 8 is all about administration on your storage, where a lot of physical and logical component inside your database, like your blocks, 8K blocks, 16K blocks, followed by your extent, segment, a table space, and those table space is mapped with a data file, one or multiple data file, and then how we are going to manage those space and how we are going to manage your logical architecture, like your instance, memory, and your background processes, right? And there's so many other physical files like data files, your undo, temp, password file, p file, sp file, control file, readlog files, arcalog files, how we're going to manage all of them. So this chapter number 7 and 8 is all about managing your database, memory structure, physical structure, logical structure, all those things we're going to talk about here in the chapter number 7 and 8. Very, very important here. These are the two topics where most of the DBAs will day in, day out, will deal or will work on this do structure here. Either it may be day to day, we'll be getting a memory issues, or it may getting your instance level issues, or database level issues, or your backend data file issues. All those things we're going to talk about in details with the live examples and demonstration. And followed by chapter number 9 is about ASM. Again, quick update on ASM. ASM is a automatic storage management. So one of the brilliant feature ASM provided by Oracle. So any database you want to install, you have to install on the file system. This file system is provided by your Linux admin. Linux admin used to provide your file system, and your Linux admin is to manage your file system. And if you want to add a space, you want to delete the space, you want to do anything on this file system, you have to like depend upon your Linux admin. That's the olden days. And when this ASM architecture came, ASM is the automatic storage management. Your database will be running under ASM. No more file system. Your database running under ASM. ASM is a storage technology provided by Oracle. This ASM is managed by DBA. DBA is going to manage this ASM. So I can increase my ASM space. I can add my ASM disk. I can drop my ASM disk. I can decrease my ASM space. Whenever I need a more space, I can add myself. Whenever I don't need a space, I can go and drop it. So here, with the help of ASM, we have removed the dependency on my Linux admin. I can do my own storage activities. So that's one of the brilliant feature. And your database performance will be much more better when your database is running under ASM storage rather than your database running under file system. If your database running under OS file system, your database has to interact with this OS file system with the OS IO operations, OS IO interpreter. That will be a bottleneck. When your database is running under ASM storage, ASM is also provided by Oracle. Your database also provided by Oracle. Both has a very good combinations, and your database performance will be much more better when it is running under ASM. That's one advantages. And other advantages is I don't need to depend upon Linux admin. I can do my own storage administration. So that's other main advantages ASM architecture. So we'll understand ASM architecture, how to create your ASM instance, how to add a storage, how to drop a storage, how to create your ASM disk group, ASM disks, and then how to create a database on top of the ASM. We'll go deep dive on the ASM part. very important topic here, chapter number 9. Chapter number 12, again, very important, uh, very must technologies, very must concept. All the DBA has to learn. That's a multi-tenant architecture. So this is going to be future focused by Oracle. So if you don't learn multi-tenant architecture, you won't survive in this database field. Why? Because there are two architecture part, the old one and the new one. The old architecture started in 7i, 8i. These are Oracle versions: 7i, 8i, 9i, 10G, 11G, 12C, and 18C, and 19C, and 21C, and 23C. So 23 now it's a AI, artificial intelligence. So these are the naming convention, the Oracle version: 7i, 8i, 9i, 10G, 11G, 12C, 18C, 19C, 21C, and 23 AI. So these are the various Oracle technologies, Oracle versions. And this old architecture is holds good up to your 19C. Up to 19C, you can, while installation of your database, you want to create your database. While creation of database, it will ask you whether you want to create old architecture or you want to create a new architecture. So meaning old architecture holds good from 7i till 11G. 7i till 11G, like 7i, 8i, 9i, 10G, 11G, up to 11G version, it's only old architecture. If you create a database, it will be abide by this old architecture. Whereas this new architecture came in 12C onwards, and then that will be there till your 23 AI. This is the new version here. So whenever you want to create a database, that database is of 11G, it will be always old architecture. Whenever you want to create your database, let's say you want to create your 19C database, and then it's going to ask you which database version, which database technology you want to install this database, old or the new. So this option is available for your 12C, 18C, and 19C. All these three version, if you are installing a 12C database, 18C database, or 19C database, that's going to ask you which technologies you want to install, old architecture or the new architecture. That option will be there on these three version. Suppose you are installing DB, you are installing 21C or 23, latest one is 23 AI. If you're installing this, you are installing this 21C or you're installing this 23 AI. Any of this version you want to install, it will never ask you which technology you want to install, old or new. It's always default new. So the meaning Oracle is focusing on this multi-tenant architecture going forward. Any database you create, it will be always this new architecture called multi-tenant architecture. So as of this three version, 12C, 18C, 19C, while installation of database, we're going to give you option whether you want to create your database with the old architecture or the new architecture. Starting with this 21C onwards, there is no option at all. Default you create a database, it will always follow the new architecture. That's a multi-tenant architecture. So as a DBA, learning this new architecture is very, very important. So we're gonna go in depth understanding of this multi-tenant architecture, CDB, PDB, CDB cloning, PDB cloning, and administration of your PDB and administration of your CDB, connecting to your CDB, connecting to your PDB, how you can manage your database inside PDB level, CDB level, how you can manage your users inside CDB level, PDB level. We'll go in deep dive on that multi-tenant architecture here. Yeah, followed by chapter number 11 is about networking. So in day-to-day activities, you will get at least one request. User is unable to connect to database. There's a network issue and a TNS issue, listener issue, and your SQLnet.ora issue. So your wallet, your TDE, so many concepts will come into picture in the networking. Listener.ora file, TNS name.ora file, and your TNS admin location, your networking issues, your configuration issues, and user is unable to connect to database. So we'll talk about so many things, how you can create your listener, create your TNS, what are the various method, what you need to consider, all this in the networking here. Chapter number 12 is about user management. So user management, I just mentioned only few topics, but there will be a lot of things. Users and schemas, user, permissions and user privileges, users roles, users profile, users quota, user table space, and how can you restrict the user access, how you can create a new user similar to that old users, how you can grant all the privileges to a user 2 similar to that user 1. User 1 has 10 privileges, how to extract those 10 privileges, assign the same 10 privileges to user 2. How can I replicate user 1, user 2 with the user 1, user 2 same as user 1? So many questions or so many requests you will may get it. How you can migrate, how you can move user from one database to other database. So all those we're going to talk about this user management, all the permissions, privileges, quotas, restrictions, profiles, and whatever like day-to-day activities comes in user management will all be discussed here. Right. So chapter number 13 is about 13, 14, 15 is all about your backups, restore, recovery. So one of the backbone for your business continuity. So chapter number 13, 14, 15 is about understanding of backup, restore, recoveries in details. What is your full backup? What is your incremental backup? What is your level 0, level 1 backup? And Sunday I want to take a full database backup. That's a level 0. And rest other weekdays I want to take incremental backup to make my backup faster. So we'll understand all this concept in details. What is the different tools, different mechanism to take your database backup. Right, and then with the help of those backups, how you can restore and recover. Like, I want to restore my data file. I want to restore my control file. I want to restore my redo logs. I want to restore my system data file, sysag data files, undo data file. And then I want to clone my production database as a development database. I want to clone my production database as a test database. Or my production database crashed. I want to rebuild my production database. What are the different ways, different method, how quickly I can rebuild my production database in case of crash? My production database control file crashed. How quickly I can recreate my control file using those backups? So all those concept, all those various scenarios will be demonstrated in details here. Chapter number 16 is about patching. So uh, your database you want to keep up to date, secured, and vulnerability free. You have to apply the patches regularly on Oracle on those databases. Like any database version you install, like 19c database version you installed, Oracle will provide a patches of 4 times in 1 year. Typically, Oracle will provide patches on Jan, April, and July, October. So all these 4 quarters in 1 year, Oracle will provide the patch. You need to apply on top of that whatever database you install. If you install 19c database, Oracle will provide these patches on 19c. You have to apply those patches on your 19c database. You install your 21c database, you have to install all those patches. Oracle will provide version specific patches, all this 4 times in 1 year. It is the DBA responsibility to apply those patches, and there are many names Oracle will come up with these patches. There may be a PSU patches, CPU patches, one-off patches, merge patch, interim patch, overlay patch, hot patch, so many names. Oracle will call it out based upon the bug or based upon the scenario why they what they created that patch. So for the DBA, it's just a patch. We're going to apply it on top of our database. So various tools for that applying the patch like OPatch, OPatch Auto, OPatch Manual, and that will end up with understanding the central inventory, local inventory. How can I apply the patch, whether the patch is applied successfully or not, and how can I minimize the downtime for applying this patch. So we'll go deep dive on understanding this patching activities here. Followed by chapter number 17 is about upgrades. So various methods, what are the pre-checks, what are the post-checks, how can I make sure that my upgradation is successful from 11G to 12C, 12C to 19C, 19C to 21C, 21C to 23, various upgrade paths or upgrade methods. So various different upgrade methods, manual, silent method, command line, GUI method, and there's a 19C new feature for upgradation called auto upgrade. So we'll talk about that, all those upgrade methods with a live example and demonstration here in the chapter number 17. That's about the upgrades. And chapter number 18 is about data guard, standby database. So we'll understand the concept of standby data guard architecture. What are the different standby databases, standby modes? How can I make sure that my both primary and standby are in sync? How can I build my standby database from the scratch? And then how can I monitor my standby database sync with my production? In case of my standby goes out of sync, how to make it sync? And what are the various factors? How to fix that? And if I add a new data file on the production database, what happens to my standby database? If I do some activity on production database, what happens to my standby database? So all those various activities across my standby database, like if my FRA is full on my production side, what happens to my standby side? If my FRA is full on my standby side, what happened to my product and standby database sync? All those various options we're going to talk about here. How to rebuild my standby database in case of out of sync. How to monitor my standby database sync will be covered here in chapter number 18. Right. So followed by chapter number 19 is about cell scripting. So we'll go over understanding basics of cell scripting. Some, we'll start writing some automation script. Like, day to day, whatever the DBA activities, monitoring activities, we'll spend around 1 or 2 hours to do my database health check. Like database health check includes your basic checks, like your database is up and running, your listener is up and running, your database has enough space for user activity, your user has a proper permissions, privileges, and all your TNS and listeners working fine. So those are the basic checks. Every day you have to do it for your database. In order to do those basic checks, you're going to spend like 1 hour or 2 hour in a day. So why to waste those 1 hour or 2 hour every day? So for that, you start writing your database monitoring automation scripts. The moment you log in, you can run that automation script and then read that report. If there's any issue, it will gonna report you. So rather than wasting that 2 hours of time for monitoring, start writing your automation script using this cell scripting. So as a DBA, understanding the cell scripting, writing your small basic automation script is very required things to just to make your day-to-day life easy. Otherwise, every day you have to spend 2 hours of time in monitoring activities, which is a waste of time. Rather than that, write your own cell script and automate it. Right. Followed by chapter number 20, we'll talk about export and import. So export and import, very good, tool or good technologies Oracle provided. Like, I have production database. Let's say I can use this RMAN backup and I can build my development database. This is my prod. Like today, it's on 20th June. 20th June, I take my production database BKP, RMAN backup, and then I restore it to my development database. Fair enough, my development database is ready. My developer will do some development activities over here. And over a period of a month, like, in July, like, production database has a table called employee table. This employee table has 1 million record. When you build your development database, same employee table, 1 million record. After a month, June, we build the development database. After a month, July, this employee table got a new record. It became 2 million records. Your development team, your dev team, whatever developing or working on the development database, they want that new data into my development. So the easiest, like ideal way is to you have to drop your production database, take a new production database backup. So drop your development database, take a new backup of your production database, rebuild your development. That works good. But let's say your production database is of a 10 terabyte in size. In order to drop your development database and take a backup of the 10 terabyte, restore your development database, that may take around 2 days. So why to waste your 2 days of time just to get this one single table? For that, we have this export and import for logical object. You can drop this employee table on the production in the development database. Just take this table backup alone using your export. After that, you can go and then import into your development database, and that will be of just a matter of 10 minutes or 1 hour. That's your export and import. Export and import for your logical objects like tables, schemas, table space, and database or data files. So most commonly we use for the tables and schemas. From one database to other database, you want to copy a particular table or particular schema, we always refer this export and import. Right, we'll talk more in detail about export and import, how to improve the speed and what are the real-time scenarios. And my export is stuck, my export is not running, my export is having lower priority. So how to improve that? So we'll talk about everything in detail in this export and import. Right. Chapter number 21 is about the new feature. We'll talk about in deep dive. What are the new feature in 12C? What are the new feature in 19C? And chapter number 22, 23, and 25, 24, all these are for your PT, performance tuning. My database is slow, my database queries are slow, and how to tune, how to improve my database queries. My insert queries are taking more time, my update queries are taking more time, my select queries are taking more time. What are the various methods to take a look into that? So we'll run AWR report, ADDM report, ASH report. We'll read and we'll understand. We'll go through that execution plan, and based upon that, we're going to talk about various approaches: rebuilding index, gathering stats, gathering schema stats, gathering your multiple tables stats, or index stats, or your schema stats, or table move, table sync, and understand your execution plan and SQL profiling, and why my optimizer is taking a wrong execution plan. So this is all about chapter number 22, 23, 24, 25. We'll talk about a performance tuning. Again, performance tuning is a separate course altogether. If you start learning performance tuning, you'll never be end up with completing this course. Performance tuning is a day-to-day activities. Every day in and day out, we'll be dealing with hundreds of performance issues. It may be a database level issues, it may be server level issues, or it may be network level issues, or it may be inside database query itself is having performance issue. It may be select query, it may be insert query, it may be update query. So performance tuning has a various vast topic. But what is needed for the DBS? What are the basics understanding of performance tuning? What is needed? How to run AWR, ADDM, ASH report? How to analyze based upon that? What are the recommendations? Table move, table sync, gather stats, and index stats. Rebuild your index, and read your execution plan. And if your optimizer using a wrong execution plan, use your SQL profile and make sure that optimizer should use the correct execution plan. All those concept of performance tuning will be covered in the chapter number 22, 23, 24. Right. Followed by chapter number 6 is about resume writing and cover letter. So I'll go over my own resume and cover letter, and we'll understand, because many people will be having their own format and syntax for resume and cover letter. But I'm using my own resume and format for last 15 years, and it is working out for me. So I'm gonna go over my own resume and cover letter, and what are the important points or the areas you need to specify in your resume and cover letter. We'll talk on that. So we'll end up this course. Along all the topics, we'll be discussing about the expected interview questions and answers. But at the same time, end of the course, we'll go over this entire database related questions, queries, and what is the expected interview questions. Because with the help of this interview questions and answers, you can able to crack your any scheduled interview with any organization. And followed by mock interview. Again, it's not a mandatory thing, it is respected to individual interest. So you can go ahead and then register for the mock interview. So I'll be connecting with you one to one, and we'll be asking you questions and you'll be answering it. It's kind of a real-time experience with directly rather than going with any client interview. You can go out and then appear for this mock interview so that you will feel a real-time interview, how it is and how it's gonna work. So in this process, I'll be making a note of what are the challenging areas and how you could have made a better. Some of the advices I can provide you at the end of the mock interview. Right. So that's about the course curriculum. Anyone has any questions or feel that any topics is missing? So again, I mentioned only few of the topics here, but when we talk about that particular section, we'll be talking more than what we specified here. But apart from this, if you are thinking uh, any other topics or any other sessions like OEM, Oracle Enterprise Manager, or you may be talking about Oracle licensing, Oracle wallets, and all those things. Those will not be covered here. Those are like advanced topics. So OEM is a separate course and all those things. But as a DBA, with my experience, this particular course content curriculum is formed based upon as a client environment. If you're working as a DBA, what are your day-to-day activities? All will be based upon this course content what we formed here. Right, I'll take a pause here for a minute. If anyone has any questions, you can post it here or unmute yourself and ask here.
Yeah, hi Malik. So this is Wasim Sheikh.
Hey, Vashim, yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure all this part will be covered with real-time scenarios, practical
Right,
session, right?
right.
Though I am new to this technology,
It's
just
all This
yeah.
entire course is based upon the live demonstration with a practical example. There's nothing about technical part. I'll never talk about technical part. You go ahead and then there's a PPT. I'll be referring that PPT. You can go ahead and read that PPT and understand the theoretical part. I'll just explain the theoretical part in layman term, and then whatever I show, it's all about the demo based upon the lab. I'll directly jump on the lab. I'll show it. So I want this course to be feel like you are working on a client environment. Nothing about here theoretical part. It's all about real time practical exercise here.
Okay. Again, one more question, Malik sir. Uh, how we can see Oracle with Hadoop? Can we compare what are the job opportunities between these two technologies, Hadoop versus Oracle?
No, that you cannot compare. You cannot compare what are the job opportunities Hadoop, what are the job opportunities Oracle, what are the job opportunities in MS SQL, what are the job opportunities with the PostgreSQL, what are the job opportunities with the MySQL. So we cannot compare one database to other database. So let's say you are enterprise business, enterprise business in the sense like say you are Walmart or you are let's say a Flipkart. Let's say you are a big customer, you are Amazon, or let's say the huge enterprise customer and where they're running a business critical data, or let's say you are into a banking, so banking domain like HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank or any bank, or you are into insurance sector or you are into some finance sector. So for all this enterprise business, your other database technologies will never help, like MySQL, MS SQL, and PostgreSQL or MongoDB. Those database technologies will never handle the load. They will never handle the data size what they have it. They have 100 terabyte and 1 petabyte. So those kind of a huge large database with the millions of transactions, no other database will handle other than Oracle. So with that, any enterprise customer you go, Oracle is the only best technologies. 99% customers will go to that Oracle technologies. No other database will handle these millions of transactions. No other database will provide a petabyte of database support. No other database will provide you a security or the bug fixes provided by Oracle. Any other databases can be hacked. Your ransomware attacker, your uh, other third party attackers, hackers can easily crack your open source or the small databases like MySQL, MongoDB, MS SQL. All these databases can be easily hacked by your attackers or hackers. But Oracle database, it's very hard to crack and attack it because Oracle is a complex product. Why? Because just to install Oracle software or Oracle database itself is nightmare for DBS. It needs a lot of config changes. But other than Oracle database technologies, if you want to install PostgreSQL, just install on RPM, your database will be ready. Same thing goes for your MS SQL, DB2. All database installation is just a single click or the single RPM installation, database is ready. But database is Oracle is not like that because of the complex feature and because of the complex security features what Oracle provides. So all the enterprise customer, Oracle is the must technologies, and there will be a lot of opportunities in the market. And we never ever compare Oracle as a competitor to the other. Oracle is always the topmost. And I'm talking about only at the enterprise customer level. And of course, for the startups, they never ever go for Oracle because Oracle licensing is way more costlier than the other technologies or other databases. And one of the drawback with Oracle is this licensing cost. Oracle licensing cost is too high, and because of that, the startup companies will never opt Oracle as their backend technologies, and they will go with some open source or small databases, and that's where the competition comes. These all startup will look for the other alternative than the Oracle. But when you go for enterprise business, all the big customers, for them, data is a valid source. Data is a critical part, and transactions are a critical part. And in order to handle that 100 terabyte, petabyte of database and millions of transactions, Oracle is the only technologies nobody can beat the speed and the security fix or vulnerability fix what Oracle provides. Right. So that's our understanding. We should always go with Oracle as a enterprise product, not for the startup one.
Thanks for clarifying.
All right. So that's about the course curriculum. Hope like you can. I'm gonna share this particular course curriculum link into this chat box here, or you can ping me on my WhatsApp number. I can always, if you have any further questions, I'm happy to clarify all of them. Right, let's quickly jump on to the course of fees and course timings and the course structure. Let's say today and tomorrow are the demo sessions, like what we're using today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. These are the two demo sessions, what we're having it, and followed by your actual course is going to start. Actual course is going to start on 24th, right? If I get my right, so let's say these are the two dates we're talking about. 20 and 21st are two demo sessions, followed by 24th Monday onwards. We'll be starting our regular classes, and this is the weekday batch. The classes will be from Monday to Friday, which will be starting on 24th, and again followed by July 1st to 5th, and followed by 8 to 12, and followed by 15 to 19. So classes will be only on the weekdays, Monday to Friday, and weekend there won't be any classes. So with that, the actual course is starting on 24th Monday, and the timings are remain same, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. IST every day, 2 hours, Monday to Friday. And in Eastern time zone, it will be 10:30 p.m. EST to 12:30 a.m. EST, 2 hours. It will be little late for them. But Eastern time zone, in EST time zone, it will be from Monday to in IST it will be Monday to Friday, but in Eastern time zone it will be one day lagging. So 2 hours. The timing is little going to change here. 2 hours every day. So instead of Monday, for them it will be Sunday, Sunday to Thursday. So it will be Sunday to Thursday, night 10 p.m. EST to 12:30 a.m. EST. But in IST time zone, India time zone, it will be Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. IST to 10 a.m. IST, 2 hours. So it's a weekday batch, Monday to Friday classes, no class on weekends, and the duration will be 35 days. So 35 days of the course, not the weekend included here. So with the we include weekend, it will be a 40 to 42 days. We're going to complete this course, and the course fees is 10,000, and that will be 125 US dollar. And the course will be conducted online via Zoom sessions. We'll be sharing the Zoom session, and the course will be based upon 19C version. Right. So we have already created our WhatsApp group. So already we have added our student into WhatsApp group, and this is a dedicated WhatsApp group, right? So you can, once you make a payment, and you'll be added to this WhatsApp group. So this is a single source, like where you can post your questions, queries, and this is only for the registered students. And this group will be there for lifetime support. Even after completion of the course, you can post your any questions or queries, or you're working for any organization, you are stuck with any activity and you need help. Always use this WhatsApp group. You can just take a screenshot and post your questions, so anyone will help on that particular group. And this is for only registered student, not a public or open one. And we already created a WhatsApp group. I think few students are already registered, and they're watching the previous batch recordings. Right. So Google Drive, the Google Drive, where once you register for the course, you'll be getting a Google Drive access where you can get your course material and previous batch recordings. Because some people will say, so I'm able to register for the course, but I'll not be able to attend the live classes, or I want to complete this course within 1 week. So for them, you can always go and refer this previous batch recordings. Like, these are everyday 2 hours of sessions. You can start watching all of them. And if you're a fast phase learner, you can go and then watch all of them in next 1 week and complete this entire course. Or whatever the topic I'm covering tomorrow, you can go to the previous batch recording and watch it in advance, so that you can attend the live classes, so that you can ask more questions or queries or doubt. So that's the idea behind that. You will get access on the previous batch recordings. Current batch recordings, like everyday sessions, whatever we take, we will record that, and then we'll upload same into the Google Drive on the same day. If you missed the today's class, you can go ahead and then watch the recording again. And then you can post your any questions after watching the recordings or the previous batch recording. If any questions arises, you can always post it in WhatsApp group. And then followed by, there are so many other information. This course material includes your PPT, workbook, lab exercise, and softwares, and your automation script, interview materials, interview questions and answers. All will be available on this course material. So all this Google Drive access will be granted once you register for the course. Right, and then followed by, once you interested or willing to continue with this course, so we can go ahead and then make a payment, and then you know, like again, make a payment in the sense, how can I make a payment? Where is the payment process? And all those things, right? Like you can always reach out to me. There are various method uh, for the payment processing. So you can always reach out to me on my WhatsApp number or my cell phone. So I can ping here in the chat as well. So I can guide you through further process, how you can make a payment, what are the different options. And once the payment is done, I'll be adding you into WhatsApp group and I'll be granting access on the Google Drive so that you can start watching the previous batch recording and start accessing the material and start building up your rack so that we'll be all set before we start the course. Right, and then once you registered and once you part of the WhatsApp group, so we'll be sharing the actual course link, the Zoom link. So this today and tomorrow are the demo links. So will be just publicly available, but Monday onwards we'll be starting the actual course where I'll be sharing the private Zoom link for those registered students. So we'll start using that link going from Monday onwards. Right. With that, I'll take a pause here, take a minute. If anyone has any questions or queries on the course curriculum, what we discussed, and the course timing, and the fee structure, and the course duration, or on the payment process. Again, payment process, I'll connect with you one to one. You can ping me on my WhatsApp number +919080616848 or +919036478079, or you can call me on this. So I'll guide you through what are the payment options and processes. Once you make a payment and register for that, I can take you further. I'll add you to WhatsApp group and I'll share the Google access. With the Google access, you can get the materials and the previous batch recording and the current batch recordings, which we are going to start on Monday onwards. Right, any questions here? I'll give a pause for a minute on the course curriculum and the course timing and duration.
Yes, Malik sir, Wasim here.
Yep.
Yes, just wanted to make sure one thing that this Google Drive access will be for
Right.
duration.
Yeah.
What?
So good question on that. So this Google Drive access is a lifetime access and no restriction at all. You can have a lifetime access on the Google Drive, or even you can download all this material into your own local laptop or desktop. No restriction at all. It's all your own material. No issue on that lifetime access. Same thing applicable for your WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group is also lifetime support. During the course, we always use the WhatsApp group for any questions and queries. So my request for all the students here is always use the WhatsApp group to ask any questions. Even whether it's a simple question, silly question, don't hesitate. Always ask the question. Then only we'll learn it. So if you don't ask the questions, you never learn it. So you never think about what other persons will think about that. Whether it's a silly question or simple question, go and then use a WhatsApp group, because we are all here to learn. And doesn't matter whether it's a silly question, I can answer. I'll be there to answer. If it's a complex question, if I don't know the answer, I'll take a time. I'll come back to you with a definitive answer. Right? Use the same WhatsApp group. And I seen it in the previous many people. Once again, in the past, people used to ping me personally, like they will think or they shy that if I put this question in a group, what other will think of. Don't hesitate, or ask the question, because the same question will be in the other's mind as well. So rather than pinging one to one personally, use a WhatsApp group. As I said, don't hesitate whether it's a simple question, a silly question, or complex question, or any questions or queries, or whenever you're stuck on any concept, or whenever you're stuck on installation of or configuration, and it is a blocking you, it is you're not able to proceed. Just take a screenshot, what error you're getting, post it over there, and then we'll be helping you on unblocking on that current situation. Right. Not only related to course, also you're working and you need some help on your current task in the current organization, always use a WhatsApp group, and that will be benefited to others as well. So once you post the question over there, once I answer it, others also will get benefited of that question. And also you are appearing for some interview, or you're discussing with your senior colleague who attended the interview with some organization XYZ, and they ask some questions. and then you can post those questions in the WhatsApp group so that I'll be there to answer you, and it will be benefited to all the students in that group. Right. Again, this WhatsApp group also for the lifetime support, provided all the students should be active and then keep that group active and keep communicating. Right. That's the answer for your question. Google Drive access, WhatsApp is a lifetime support, and you can access it anytime and you can post any questions. Right. Somebody has a
Thank you.
question?
Yes. So as you said, as soon as we are doing the payment, we will be right privilege to access the previous classes. So it will cover only related to database related, or can we have something once you covered for the OEM related classes in the previous session, that also we can able to access, or how it will be?
Yes, it's only the database related activities, and there are some special classes which are conducted. Those is a separate drive, and all the students will get access on that. In the previous batch we covered some extra topics like OEM, we covered some uh, Golden Gate, we covered some basic stuffs, not in depth. So all those special recordings also will get access on the Google Drive. So again, you can access them, no issues on that.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on this? Right. I'll take it as a no. Quickly go to the
Uh,
next topic. Yeah, go ahead. Somebody has a
Sorry,
question.
go ahead. Just I want to know about is just I joined late little bit. Sorry about it. Is patching stuff is going to be hard, right? Patches how to be.
Right. We just covered that one. The chapter number 16 is about the patching. We just explained that. I can go over these recordings, whatever we
Thank you.
covered.
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
All right. The next topic will be prerequisites. What are the prerequisites before I enroll for this particular course? As I mentioned, anyone can attend this course, whether you is a new graduated student or you want to switch your career from one field to other, like database field, or you're working as a non-IT background and want to come to this IT background as a Oracle DBA, or you already having 5 to 10 years of experience or more than that, you want to brush up your DBA knowledge in depth. This particular course will help, because as I said, this course is structured in a such a way that start from the scratch, will go till advanced level. So anyone can attend this particular course, no restriction on that. And if you know the basics of Windows and Linux knowledge, that will be a good added advantages. If you know the basics of SQL, that will be a good added advantages. So you'll be on track and you'll be able to understand and catch up the concept quickly. If you don't know basics of Windows, you don't know basics of knowledge, you don't know basics of SQL, whatever needed in the Linux basic knowledge, Windows basic knowledge, or SQL basic knowledge, particular to this DBA course, will be covered along with the topics what I'm explaining it. But you have to spend some extra time to learn some basics Linux command, basics Windows command, basic SQL query command. So all these topics, all this course, all this, the material will be available in the Google Drive. Along with the course material, you have basics of Linux, basics of SQL. You have to spend some extra time and understand this so that you will be able to catch up the topics what I'm explaining on day to day. If you don't spend some extra time and if you don't practice this, and you will maybe lagging the concept whatever I'm explaining it, you have to go ahead and then watch the previous batch recording well in advance, understand the concept, and then we'll be able to catch up the things. So these are like, not a mandatory, but good to know. If you know the basics of Windows, Linux, and SQLs, and you'll be up to date and you'll be able to catch up the concept along with the course duration when what I'm covering the topic on that day. If you don't know, then you will be lagging the course and you have to watch the recordings and you have to catch up the things by spending some extra time. Right? All the materials will be available in the Google Drive. You have to spend some extra time on this. Right. And other important prerequisites is your Windows. So you should have your laptop or desktop with 10 GB RAM and then 100 GB SSD hard disk, because we'll be setting up of the lab using a Oracle VirtualBox on your own laptop. All your lab setup will be on your laptop or desktop. So you should have a laptop with 100 GB RAM and 100 GB SSD hard disk and 10 GB RAM. So if you don't have this requirement, you will not be able to set up a lab. Or even though if you don't have 10 GB RAM, if you have only 8 GB RAM and you are going to set up a lab and your labs are very, very slow. And sometimes your lab will get crash and you have to rebuild again and again. So if you have with a minimum of 10 GB and 100 GB SSD, your lab will work like a real server and then you can practice it without any interruption. Right, so that's about the prerequisites. All right, so let's go ahead and then we have few more minutes. Let's talk about a few concepts like your database architecture and your database connectivity, your database types. Like database types, basically you have standalone versus rack, and like various method, like if you talk about, there'll be a lot of things, but let's say I'll keep it simple. A database, a connectivity. Let's say how this database connectivity works. I'm just gonna give you the overall high level overview how that application side the database connection works, how the DBA side connection works. Totally very, very vast, and then uh, very good understanding. Like let's say right now, uh, let's say you have a data center. I'm just going to draw in a. I'm not going to cover anything a theoretical architecture part, but I just want to keep it simple in simple layman term. How the application connection works for my database. Let's say my business, my company is xyz.com. So I have my data center. Let's say I have my data center. Let's say I have my data center London. In London, I'm gonna keep my servers. Let's say I have my Linux server 1. I have my Windows server. I have my physical Linux server. Physical Linux server means I have my Linux server kept on my London data center. Or I have virtual Linux server. Virtual Linux server means virtual server where you don't have a physical hardware. Like your physical hardware will be hosted by your any cloud provider, like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. Or you kept your Blade server, like let's say you kept your Blade server. Blade server is like, let's say 100 terabyte RAM and then 100 petabyte storage. So on top of that, you're going to create your VM1, VM2, VM3. So in a data center, it's a huge, vast area where you can keep all your servers. It may be a physical server, or it may be a virtual server, or it may be your web hosting, a public or private cloud, anything. So these are all your data center where you have various servers. So XYZ is kind of your company. So let's say your Amazon.com, best retail e-commerce, or Flipkart.com, or Walmart.com. Let's say if I just go that one, Amazon.com, let's say, right, if I go to Amazon.com here, so I can purchase any product, e-commerce. So let's say my company XYZ, instead of that, just assume it's Amazon.com. So this is a e-commerce business. For this Amazon.com, the moment any client login, so they can browse. Any end user login, he can create his own account, like create your own account, and you log in and you can purchase any account, any order. So let's say for my database e-commerce, I have either Linux server, virtual or a physical or anything. Let's say physical server, I have my Oracle database over here. And this Oracle database has all the tables like electronic gadget or groceries or the utilities or the fashion, all this whatever you are seeing a different product here, gaming accessories and fashion or your PCs or your gadgets, all those things. Those are the tables what we created inside my database. Those items will be listed, like inside database we're going to create those tables, and those items will be displayed on those application server. So we'll be having this application server here, app server. So there are two types of connections happens, like browser URL. From client will connect to browser URL using like username Malik and password. They'll connect to application server. That's your client one. And client two, John, is login with his username and password, again using a browser or mobile. Let's say he connected with the mobile. Mobile, you can install the Amazon app and you can log in with your own username and password and connect to app server. Or any, again like client 3, use again URL, browser. Go to browser and again he can connect with the user 3 and password. He can connect. All those whatever username and password what you're seeing, these are your application side username and password. So all these username and passwords are stored under your app server. Malik username and Malik password. This John username and John password. And this username 3 and then username password. So all these are application related username and password. But all these users will browse these items. Let's say I logged in here. I logged into this Amazon site. Let's say I can log in. I can create my own account with my username or my mobile number and I create it. This is the application server. This username and password will be stored under application server. Or you guys can log in same Amazon.com retail website and you can create your own username and password. All these username and password will be stored at the application server. Right, let's say here. So all these username and passwords are stored in the application server. But all these users internally uses this application is configured with one DB user. Only one single DB user. Let's say app user and password. Your application team, while installing this application server, you're gonna give that a database details, your database name and your database server name, your TNS details, and one database user. This app's user and password will be stored under in this particular database. So this Malik user login to Amazon website, he uses his own user and password, and the connection will go to application server. Via that application server, backend connection will use this app user connect to database. This John user, he will log in with his own user and password at the URL, and then that's going to connection comes to application server. In the application server, John is going to use the database user connect to database. Again, same thing, a user 3, user 4, like 1 million user connect to Amazon site. All those 1 million user name and password are stored under the application layer. And any transaction they will do, all those transaction uses that database specific user backend and connect to database. Same thing goes for your banking sector also. Instead of Amazon e-commerce, let's say your ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, or any banking sector, you have your own individual username and password. Like that particular bank has a 1 million users. all the 1 million users will log in with their username and password. All those username and password will be stored under that application server. And any transaction they do online, backend, they're going to use that one single application user and password, which is available inside the database. And they're going to connect to database. So that is how an end user can connect to database and do a transaction. And for him, this database is the kind of no idea at all. For the end user, Malik user who logged in, he know only that Amazon site. I logged in with my user and password. I'm doing some purchase or some transaction. Malik, he's doing some ICICI Bank. He log in with ICICIBank.com with the username and password, or he log into HDFCBank.com and he will do some transaction. And he don't know about the backend, how database works and which database it connected. So independent, transparent to that end user, like end user will not be aware of which database they're using, how their connection is. They're just doing, they log into that application and they'll do the transaction. But at DBA, it is our responsibility is to manage all those end user transactions running fine. There's no transaction failure. And this particular database is working fine and it's a healthy. Let's say this particular apps user, which is available on my database here, this app user is account locked or account expired or this account got deleted. Your entire Amazon website is down. Your entire ICICI Bank website is down. Your entire HDFC Bank website is down. If anything goes wrong with that application user, one single application user. So that is the DBA job. As a DBA, we should make sure that all these transactions are working fine. All that application user, whatever configured, is a healthy state and no password expiry, no limitation for those users, and my database is running fine. That's a DBA job. Then how we connect to this particular database? As a DBA, how we connect to this database? We directly connect to this server because this server is a Linux server and we know the login ID and password will directly connect to this Linux server with our own individual IDs or the shared common IDs, and we are going to maintain and manage this particular database. So that is the DBA job. DBA job will come here at the backend part. This front end part we never worried. This front end part, application team and the application users, the application developers who are going to manage this application server and all. But as a DBA, we are worrying about only this server where you install the database. So how to connect to database? We'll directly connect to server first. Once we connect to server and we access the database and we manage the database. That's the DBA job or the DBA part. And we should make sure that this particular database is healthy, running fine. All the user inside the database, like application user is active and working fine. If anything goes wrong with that user, your entire business is down. That's a critical part what we're handling at the back end. Right. So that is a database, a connectivity, how the database connection works. And imagine, like, let's say, go back to the same diagram. Let's say if this particular database is so critical, your entire business is running based upon this database availability, based upon this user availability. And if this database goes down, or the database is running on this Linux server, if that Linux server goes down, what happens? Again, the entire business down. As a DBA, we should make sure that your server is available 24/7. Your database is available 24/7. Anything goes wrong with the server or anything goes wrong with the database, it's a complete downtime. Like how to handle that? Like server is out of our control. Like server can crash due to any outage, or the database instance can crash because of any critical server failure or service failure. So how to maximize my business availability? For that, there's a new concept called rack in Oracle came into picture. So rack will help for this unexpected outage. Let's say, give me a second. Let's say same thing here, whatever I just explained, standalone versus rack. So this particular course we are covering on the standalone. Rack is a separate course. Will not be covering anything on the rack, but this is based upon standalone. Like again, your Amazon website, you're going to connect to URL, you're going to connect through mobile or your desktop. Connect, all the connection will go to application server. From application server, connection will go to your, this is your Linux server. On that Linux server, you're running your database. What I'm talking about, if your Linux server goes down or your instance goes down, your all these end users, the business down, they cannot able to access anything here. So how to overcome that? Oracle came up with this rack concept, real application cluster. Like instead of running under one Linux server, run under multiple Linux server 1, Linux server 2, Linux server 3, multiple Linux servers, and the user will connect to browser, connect to your Linux server 1 and access the database. You can keep the shared, your database, you can keep it among the shared server, like server 1, 2, 3, Linux server 1, Linux server 2, Linux server 3. All the server can have a shared storage. Your database will be sitting under that. Some user like 1 million users will connect to this Linux server 1 and 1 million user will connect to this Linux server 2 and 1 million user will connect to this Linux server 3 and access the database. So we distributed this 3 million load across 3 different servers. That's kind of your distributing the load balancing. That is one of the feature in rack. You can distribute the load across multiple servers so that transaction will complete faster. If the 3 million transactions happens on one single server, your Linux server will be overloaded. That's a drawback of standalone. The load is not balanced, it's overloaded. In case of rack, you can distribute your transaction 1 million, 1 million, 1 million on all the multiple servers. Load balancing is the one feature in case of rack. And let's say this particular Linux server goes down, crashes, or this instance crashes. Whatever this 1 million record is connected, they will go here and they will go here. Like 0.5 million will go here and 0.5 million they will go over here. So it's a kind of your a failover. Like your end user continue to do his transaction because his connection will automatically fail over to your other available servers or other available instance. So that's the other advantage of your rack. In case of standalone, if the Linux server crash happens, all these 3 million users, whatever connected, they will be disconnected. That's one of the major drawback in case of a standalone. So what we understood, two important concept, the standalone versus rack. In case of standalone, load balancing is the issue. In case of standalone, failover is the issue. We cannot do failover. If the server goes down, all the users will be disconnected. In case of rack, one server goes down, like server 1 goes down, all the connection will go to the second servers. The failover will be automatic. And HA, high availability. Load balancing is one, like distributing the load. Failover is the one, the connected users, if the server goes down, automatically connection will fail over. And HA, high availability. High availability meaning, like let's say the user one, the new user want to connect, and if the server is not available, there's no high availability concept here. Like it's kind of a user is unable to connect. Whereas client one trying to connect, and if the server one is not available, you will go to second server. Second server is not available, you go to third server. So it's kind of a high availability. One server is not there, it will go to the second server. So high availability is a other important concept which can be provided by rack. So if somebody asked one of the common questions, what are the difference or the advantages or pros and cons with the standalone versus rack. The three main differences: load balancing, failover, and high availability. So these three features are not available in the standalone, but in case of rack, the rack purely works upon these three main features. Right, I'll take a pause here. And any questions on the connectivity part or the database types, standalone versus rack, pros and cons? Right, I'll take it as a no. And the other topics like database connectivity, what we talked is apps, user connection, and DBA connection. Sorry, apps user has to use this application username and password, and via connection will go to app server. From the app server backend, it's going to use that database user and connect to your database. But as the DBA will directly connect to server, and from the server we'll manage the database. That's the difference connectivity. And the database type standalone versus rack. So this course is based upon standalone. Rack will not be covered here. And these are the three main features or the pros and cons between the standalone and rack. So database architecture, I'll keep it simple. Your database architecture is made up of instance plus database. If somebody asked what is database architecture in Oracle, a database architecture made up of instance and database. Again, I'm keeping it a short and at high level I'm explaining it here. In our regular course, we'll go deep dive on each and every concept and we'll explain more details on that. But right now I'm keeping it short because of this time constraint and because of the only two demonstration today and tomorrow. So if somebody asked one simple question like what is database architecture, our answer should be database architecture is a combination of instance and the database. So instance is a logical structure and database is a physical structure. So simple definition, instance is a logical structure and database is the physical structure. So your instance is a logical structure which is made up of memory plus BG process. Again, this is a logical structure. Your database will be formed with the help of instance, and that logical structure is combination of memory and background process. This memory includes your SGA plus PGA, and this background process includes mandatory plus non-mandatory. Mandatory and non-mandatory background process. Again, further if you go deep dive, like again database architecture is the instance plus database. Instance is the logical structure, database is the physical structure. Instance is made up of memory and background process. Again, this memory includes SGA and PGA, and this background process include mandatory and non-mandatory background process. And this database is a physical structure, is about your data files. So that is your simple compact answers what you can provide if somebody asked what is database architecture. Again, if you divide and drill down furthermore, this SGA, this SGA includes your shared pool, large pool, Java pool, stream pool, your database buffer cache, log buffer cache. So these are your other sub memory component inside your SGA. Inside your PGA, you have UGA, you have stack space, you have sort area, you have temp area, and so many sub memory components inside the PGA. In case of your mandatory background process, you have SMON, you have PMON, you have checkpoint, you have DB writer, you have log writer, right? Your pmon, smon, check pointer, db writer, log writer, mandatory background processes. And non-mandatory background processes are your archiver, your job queue, your mon, mnnl, so many non-mandatory background processes. Again, I'm giving only few of them. There'll be hundreds of non-mandatory background processes. In case of backend database or the physical data files, you have so many data files. System, sysocs, undo, temp, users. You have so many other non-mandatory, you have so many other mandatory data file like your system, sysocs, undo, mandatory data files. Without that, your database will never run. And you have other like users, application related data file, and so many things. So that is your simple definition or compact answer. If somebody asked you what is a database architecture, our simple definition should be database architecture is a combination of instance and database. Instance is a logical structure and database is a physical structure. So this instance is made up of a memory and background process, and memory contains SG and PGA, and inside SG and PGA so many sub memory component. And in the background process we have mandatory and non-mandatory background process, and few of them are like mandatory are here and non-mandatory are here. And database is a physical structure where your physical data file you can see it at the back end. So that is your simple definition. We will go in deep dive on each and every concept. What is shared pool, large pool, what is SGA, PGA, what is Java pool, stream pool, buffer cache, log buffer cache, what are the PGA component, what are these background processes, what are the activities in our regular classes. Like in simple definition, let's keep it short. What's your database architecture? That is your definition here. Right. Any questions here so far? I'm just going to give for 1 minute pause if anyone has any questions.
So Linux server solution में है, so Linux team और DBS.
Right. So this course is based upon Linux server. We never talk about anything to related to Windows. It's all based upon the Linux. And as the course progresses, what are the basic command will be covered along with the course, along with each topic. Right. Let's say we'll take a pause here now. A couple of topics we're going to cover tomorrow. One is your a TNS and listener. A TNS and listener. Let's cover that in tomorrow's session. What is TNS? What is TNS admin? And what is the TNS? Like in TNS, we call basically TNS underscore admin, and that TNS admin will be having your TNS names.vara file. And your listener, again, listener will be in the same TNS admin directory, and it will be listener.vara. So in simple definition, your TNS name.vara file is called client side file, and your listener.vara is a server side file. So what is the client side? What is the server side? Server side config file or client side config file we'll talk about in tomorrow's session. And your that's one thing we'll talk about that in tomorrow's session. And the other one is your users. Before that users, let's talk about a physical versus logical structure of database. So we'll understand in tomorrow's session what is the physical versus logical structure of our database. So the physical structure are nothing but your data files where DBA can understand. This logical where database can understand, or database or the instance. So we will divide our database in two different angle. One is the physical structure and the other one is the logical structure. Like in simple words, physical and logical structure. Let's say I have this server. This server has a instance. And this instance has a database. So this database is nothing but data files. Whatever the data files we talk system, sysocs, undo, temp, user, all the data files are physically available on this server, Linux server. You can go to that Linux server and you can look at, you can see those data files physically. That's why the data file is a physical structure. But this particular database instance will not understand that physical structure. These data files are mapped to a table space. These tables are made up of segments. These segments are made up of extents. These extents are made up of data blocks. So this is your logical structure where your database can understand, your instance can understand in this format. Block, extent, segment, and table space. Those table spaces are made up of your data files. You have a system data file, system table space. You have sysoc data file, sysoc table space. Undo data file, undo table space. Temp data file, temp table space. User data file, user table space. So we'll go deep dive in tomorrow, but that's a physical versus logical. Physical is just a data file. Physically, we can go to server and see those data files. But your database can understand in a different format. Those data files will be understood with this logical concept. That's the internal mechanism database will understand this. Right, so that is one thing we will see it, the physical versus logical. And then the other one is your users. User management. So what we talked about, the diagram, whatever we talked here, right? Where is that? Do I have that one? No. Right here. Whatever this app user, whatever this app user, this 1 million users or whatever these users who are connecting to application, to that application, the only one user will be connected to my database. So for this user, somebody has to create that user inside database. Before your application team configure the application, as a DBA, I need to create that user inside my database because that user will not default comes with your database installation. As a DBA, I need to create this user and then grant the privileges and permissions and then share that username and password with the application team, and application team will configure that banking application or Amazon e-commerce or whatever the application. So that is our DBA job. We need to make sure that the users are created and given the proper privileges and permission. Once that is done, we have to share those user details with application team, and application team is going to configure their brand new application. So we'll see that user management, user creation, permission, privileges, and how to restrict, how to provide a quota and all in this user management. We'll see that in tomorrow's session. All right, I'm gonna break it for today. If anyone has any questions, we'll spend for a few more minutes and take those questions. Otherwise, we'll take a break and we'll connect tomorrow with further more topics in continuation to this today's topic. All right, guys. So feel free to connect with me on my WhatsApp number or cell number. If anyone willing to register or have more questions, The floor is open. You can ask any questions here. If not, then you can always reach out to me on my WhatsApp or cell. I'm happy to clarify or all further questions, whatever you have it. So we almost covered most of the questions, but yeah, before we wrap it up, there are few questions in the chat here. Any performance tuning? Yeah, we will plan for performance tuning, but date and time I can't guarantee at the moment. Yeah, in upcoming days, I'm going to start the PT course as well. Please stay tuned for that. There's a one more question from Sai. Any weekend batches for that for rack? Okay, yeah. So I'm right now taking only database course. Database course is a okay. I think we have in our blog already specified here. So if you can go to this particular link here that has upcoming details, upcoming batch details. So the today's one, the weekday batch, we are starting this database course, and the rack is a weekend batch, which will be starting on 6th of July. So right now we are conducting only two courses, database and rack. Database is on a weekday batch, Monday to Friday. Rack is on a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday. So we are starting the rack on 6th of July. So Krishna is asking one more question. How much does each topic will take? Again, it's not a topic wise. As I mentioned, it will be of 30 to 35-day course, Monday to Friday, every day 2 hours. And some topic may be shorter, it may be 30 minutes, or some topic may be longer. It may take 1 hour, 1.5 hour. It all depends upon topic to topic, but every day 2 hour is the course. Again, there's a one more question, when the rack will start. Yeah, already answered, rack will start on July. Are you running any course like OEM or Oracle licensing? No, we are not taking any OEM or Oracle licensing course. Throw some light on the licensing cost. I already explained about licensing cost, but Oracle licensing is one of the complex topics, so there are a lot of things you need to understand. Oracle provides various licensing factors, license based upon the course, license based upon the users. But yeah, that's a vast topic. One more question here. I'm from a non-IT background. Is this course help me? Yeah, I already covered this one. This course is for, this is already just covered, I believe here. The prerequisites anyone can attend. You are a fresh graduates or you want to change your domain from non-IT to IT, or you're already experienced person. So this course is well good for you. There's one more question in the chat here. This course includes Exata also? No, Exata is a separate course. But again, I'm not taking any Exata courses, and this course does not include any Exata. We already gone over on the course curriculum here. I can ping you this in the chat one more time. You can feel free to go over the course curriculum, what is planned over here. Right, so one more question here, Oracle certifications. Yes, so at the end of the course, we'll be covering that along with this resume rating, interview questions, mock interview. We'll be covering about Oracle certifications. We have a 19C admin 1 and admin 2. We have 19C admin 1 and 19C admin 2. So your 19C admin 1 and admin 2, once you complete both, you will get a OCP certificate. It will be 1Z0082. The course ID is 1Z0082, and this will be your 1Z0083. So 82 and 83 are the course IDs, voucher IDs. So once you pass these two, you will be 19C OCP Oracle Certified Professional. Right, we'll talk more on that at the end of the course about the certifications, what are the course concept and all those things. But once you complete this particular course, you will be able to complete this admin 1 and admin 2 19C OCP certificate. All right, let me stop my screen share. We'll take a break here. We'll continue tomorrow on the further topics. Provided if you have any questions, we'll take 1 more minute. If not, then we will break it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so if someone interested to learn Oracle Rack course as well, you said that is going to start on July first week, right? So
Right.
The timing will be the same, or how it will be? Because if somebody is already attending this course and also want to learn Oracle Track as
I
well.
just explained, right? This database is a weekday course and rack is a weekend course.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, fine. Thank you.
All right, let's take a break today. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Malik.